Hello friends and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be mixing all of my eyeshadows together into one large mega eyeshadow. I've mixed some of my makeup before. I've mixed all of my nude lipsticks together to make a Franken nude, and I've also mixed all of my foundations together to make a Frankendation. I actually think both of the previous mixtures have been pretty successful, so I am excited and ready to do more bad makeup science. As with many other people who watch a decent amount of beauty tutorials on YouTube, I've collected a decent amount of eyeshadow over the years, but when it comes down to doing my makeup, I rarely have the time to put it on. Maybe I'm just scared of not blending enough, but like it takes an extra like 30 minutes if I want to do eyeshadow. Maybe that's just me though. So I was thinking, maybe if I made an eyeshadow that contains all of my eyeshadows in it, that I could say that I use all my eyeshadows all the time. This series may be called Bad Makeup Science, but for me it's also Bad Leaps in Logic. So I'm gonna try and make a Franken shadow right now, and if it works out, I'm gonna wear it all day tomorrow and see how it is. Okay, let's bring out the shadows. Here is the makeup mirror, and here are the eyeshadows. There they are. So this is what I'm gonna do. I don't wanna actually destroy my eyeshadows because even though I don't wear them a lot, I still do wear them sometimes, and it does pain me to like destroy a palette or like stab a pan. So I'm gonna just scrape off a little bit off the top of each eyeshadow and put it into this empty pan right here. And then once I've done that with all of my eyeshadows, I'm gonna use this makeup repairing mousse to like set it down, and hopefully it'll turn into an eyeshadow. All right. Let's begin. I think my first victim is going to be this Urban Decay Electric palette. Now this palette gets a lot of use in general just because I use it a lot for Decades videos, and there are also a lot of fun colors, so this will be a good like first edition. Ooh, that makes me feel good and bad inside. All right, so I think that's a decent amount. Let me just like dump it into my little container, shall we? Oh, these shimmer ones are so fun. I'm starting off with this palette, so it's gonna start off colorful, but then we'll get into the, you know, multiple brownie nudes that I have. I've got myself a few nudes. Some transition shades. I don't use them, but I have them. It's taking me so long to do this first palette. I feel like it's gonna take us a long time to do this. It started off kind of delicate, like the bottom row was very much just like, oh, I'm just gonna dust it in. And now the top row is just like, clank, clank, clank. You know what they say, you've gotta break a few eggs to make an eyeshadow palette. All right, so this is the yield from our first palette, but before we celebrate, let's pour one out for the eyeshadow that died in vain. So the second palette I'm gonna do is the Kat Von D Alchemist Holographic palette. It is not, in fact, holographic, but it is iridescent and fun. To Kat, wherever you are, I'm sorry. It looks like flour or snow or something else. Yes. Oh yeah.
I feel like the feds are gonna see this video and like come knocking.
What's the movie where at the end the guy has the machine gun?
Scarface?
Yeah, that's me. Okay, so I'm just gonna speed through a couple of these really quick. Some of them are like super easy to get up, and especially with these ones that I don't use as much, I'm like tempted to just keep going, but I don't wanna skew it one way or another. All right, I'm gonna excavate all 4 of these and then pour them all in at the same time.
You were like a makeup paleontologist.
This further confirms that I am Ross. Let me get my caffeine out here.
Is this the right time to be doing high surgery?
Yes, I'm like Honey Boo Boo. I need my like rocket juice to just get going. The shimmers are much like softer and more fun to dig around in than the mattes. I'm sure that's actual makeup science, but I don't really know it. Excuse me as I clean off my scalpel. These surgeon's rags are gonna be very interesting by the end.
You're the Dexter of eyeshadow.
Probably less clean than Dexter. Dexter's kind of a clean freak. I'm a messy serial killer. I kind of wanna scoop up all of the eyeshadows in a single row and then like pour it in and have it like cascade down like a waterfall. One thing that I am very happy about is that I'm turning out to have so many individual pans of eyeshadow that I don't have to take that much from any single one. So I think all my eyeshadows are gonna survive. So next I'm going to do my Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. I haven't really dug into this one too much because I recently got it because I missed about the first 4 restocks, but let's gouge some out. I feel like my mixture is looking less and less like a rainbow and more like pizza toppings. You know, you see some shaved Parmesan, see some paprika. All right, I think I'm losing some of my finesse here. Getting a little messier. Jaclyn, you just really had to put so many colors in here. It's taken me a while. I've lost my cameraman. I feel like this shoot is just like kind of devolving more and more. Tyler's with the cat, just talking to myself while scraping away at some eyeshadows. Things are going great. All right, we're in the home stretch here, Jackie. Can I call you Jackie? We've never met. I think this thing is like almost filled up, to be honest. I think Jackie really filled us in. My surgeon's rag is actually more colorful now than my mixture. Now it is further away from pizza toppings and more like silt. So this is my last palette, but like my second to last thing. This is my Z palette, full of little eyeshadows that I've previously depotted. There's one blush in here, but we'll throw that in anyway. These are actually probably gonna be the easiest to dump in because there's no lips or brush holders or anything or other shadows to contend with. It's been so long since we started.
We started by going to Taco Bell, which wasn't the best call.
When did I turn into Shane Dawson? I'm just kidding.
Shane's doll is still here.
These 4 eyeshadows are like ancient, like since freshman year of college ancient.
Wow.
That was 7 years ago.
Add them to the mix.
So we are finally on the last eyeshadow. This one is an Urban Decay single shadow in the color Woodstock. I got this during the Strangers Pick My Makeup video. Victoria helped me pick this out. So Victoria, if you are watching this right now, look away. This is like a really, really beautiful pink shadow. I kind of want to put a lot in, but I also don't want to take too much of it. Oh yeah.
Wow, it's a nice cherry on top.
Okay, we are done, finally, with the first step. That took a very long time, longer than I expected. Even though this doesn't even look like that much, like so many of them are palettes that when you go through every individual shadow, it's just like so much. But I think actually looking at it, we do have definitely enough to cover like the bottom of this pan. So basically what I'm gonna do now is take one of these wooden sticks and like mix it up. Based on the colors that have gone into it, I think this is going to be brown.
I'm hoping it's like rainbow.
Definitely looks like it's gonna start turning brown like I expected, but when you look really closely, you can see all the individual pigments and shimmers.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I've done a pretty good job of mixing. So I'm gonna open up this Moon Mousse kit, which is like apparently supposed to be this like makeup repairing mousse. So this is for broken makeup. They don't really say anything about, you know, any bad makeup science, but hopefully it'll work. Basically, it looks like I should just press down the makeup and then put the mousse on it. And then we pretty much just wait for it to dry. So now that I've packed it all down with this little tool, basically it says I'm just supposed to dispense the mousse on top of the broken makeup. Oh my God, did you see that? It is getting eaten up. I'm supposed to cover the whole surface area of the makeup. So basically after this, I'm just supposed to test the mixture to make sure it's pasty and not dry. Yeah, I don't think it's dry. Looking at the instructions, I think I've deviated enough from the intended use case of this product that they don't really apply. So I think I'm just gonna pack it down a little bit more and then wait overnight for it to dry. It definitely looks very much like a Franken shadow right now. There's a lot of different elements that are still kind of whole in there, but it does look nice and shimmery.
It looks like a deformed Pop-Tart.
I think you're just hungry.
I am hungry.
Let me clean up my workspace and my surgeon's rags, and let's go to bed and see what happens tomorrow. Okay, so it's the morning time. Basically, the only step we have to do right now is just flatten it out with this stamper again. It's looking more purple. Can you tell?
Yeah, it's like mud purple.
Okay, so I'm showered and ready to put my makeup on. So I think that we're ready to dive right into this Franken shadow. It smells good. I think that Moon Mousse stuff has like a good scent. Okay, so let's see what happens when I try and swatch this guy. Feels like maybe a little softer than some eyeshadows, but at the same time, you know, it was just loose pigments a mere, 10 hours ago. I'm gonna try it, get the rest of it off. All right, what color is that? It looks kind of like a bruise. It is funny to think about like all of the different eyeshadows that went in here to kind of just like make like a brownie purple, but I think that it'll be nice on the face. Before we put it on, I'm gonna put on some eye primer just to give this guy a fighting chance. And then next, I'm gonna dip my brush in the eyeshadow and let's see how it goes on. Huh? Is anything happening? Let me just put on a little more. I'm having a hard time seeing it on camera, but I think it's kind of like a nice smoky color. It's almost like an old school mid to late 2000s smoky eye. All right, so I'm gonna blend this a little bit more and then I'm gonna put it on my left eye and do the rest of my makeup. I'm also not gonna be using any other shadows on my eyes just so we can like focus in on the color and the wearability of our Franken shadow. And once that's done, I'll check back in and we'll see how it lasts throughout the day. Okay, so I'm finally finished with the rest of my makeup and you can tell how long it took me to finish my eyeliner by the way the light has changed in this room. As I kind of like put a little more on and like layered the eyeshadow, it's kind of looking more purple than brown, which is good in my opinion, though nothing wrong with a good brown eyeshadow, but I like the idea that it didn't just turn like muddy brown when I mix them all together. Okay, so I've spent a decent amount of time doing my makeup today, so let's go outside and see what we can do to try and test the longevity of this thing, see if anything creases up, if it fades, anything like that. Okay, let's go. All right, in the car. There's no creasing or fading yet, but it has only been like an hour.
It's much prettier than I thought. I thought last night it looked like mud, and now I think it looks like a color.
There's a little bit of literal glitter in there, like, so I don't know if you can actually see it.
I can, yeah.
But mostly it's pretty iridescent, which is cool.
I think it looks really pretty. I like this color.
Thanks, Ty. Okay, so I'm gonna walk into Sephora right now and swatch some purple / brownish shadows and see if I can't find one that's close to my Franken shadow color. So let's swatch it on my hand so we have it as a reference. It just takes a couple of layers to really get its full color.
I say the color should be called Bruised Banana.
Maybe. We'll workshop it. Okay, so after swatching a decent amount of eyeshadows, I couldn't actually find one that seemed to be a perfect dupe or even like a super close dupe. None of them are getting that really good bruise color that I want. The Makeup Forever eyeshadows seem to be like kind of close, but was lacking some like purple undertones. I feel like I have this one and we put it in the mix. So I feel like the search for the perfect dupe continues, but it is kind of cool that my shadow is like unique. It's hard to duplicate because I'm liking it. Is it glittering?
Very glittery.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a shot of it in the full sun so we had it.
Oh, I like that. Don't look at the camera.
Ah, the sun. Okay, so I think it's about hour 9 of wearing this eyeshadow. It's a little bit late at night at this point, but we're gonna sit down and film for a couple of hours in front of these lights. It's warm if I put my head this close to it.
I mean, obviously.
So we'll see if after filming how the eyeshadow is looking, but to be honest, it's like pretty crease free. All right, so it's been about 11 hours since I put the eyeshadow on. Honestly, I think that this eyeshadow has outlasted pretty much everything else on my face. My foundation is like kind of breaking up, like getting ready to come off. My lipstick, I completely reapplied. Now I'm wearing the Franken lipstick and you know, just eyeshadow going strong, man. Overall, I like a lot of things about this eyeshadow. I do like the color, I like the staying power, I like kind of almost like how easy it is to wear. Like I did kind of just like put on one color and go. And I was happy that the Moon Mousse was able to make all of those little pigments into one eyeshadow that dried down to become like a literal shadow. It's hard to like capture on camera exactly what it looks like, but I think this is actually a pretty good representation. There are a couple of things that I'm worried about with this eyeshadow. Mostly I'm worried about the literal like pan of shadow itself. It looks a little bit like it's cracking. I feel like the first bad thing to happen could be that this stuff starts like flaking off. My only other complaint is that it takes a few swipes to really build up the color. So I wouldn't say that the eyeshadow is like super pigmented, but once you got it on the eyes, it seems to be staying on. And I am, as I intended in the beginning of this video, wearing all of my eyeshadows. So feeling good about that too. So let me know in the comments below what you want to see me mix next. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked that video, make sure to smash that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to smash that subscribe button. And if you've already smashed that subscribe button, make sure to also smash that little bell icon in the middle to turn on post notifications so you get a notification every time that I post. Here are my social media handles, and make sure to check out my next beat. I do a lot of daily vlogging and Q&As on there. A big shout out to Kenya for watching. Thanks for watching, Kenya, and I will see you guys next time.